Good morning, everybody. Oop. Okay, can you hear me? All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Agricultural Preserve Advisory Committee. Today is Thursday, January 11th. And we have everybody up through webinar and nobody currently in person. But as we go through the agenda, if we could call this meeting to order, it is 9:02 a.m. Is there anyone today who has public comment on an item not listed on the agenda?
Madam Chair, first thing we have to get Royce to announce that he is attending remotely as one of our members.
Okay.
Hey, Royce, are you there?
I am here.
Would you briefly describe your circumstances of why you are attending remotely? And if there's anybody in the room over 18 years of age?
There is no one in the room, and I'm here because of health reasons for my wife.
Okay,
So I'm
perfect.
out
Thank
of
you.
state.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Royce. Let's see. Our next item is, so there's nobody here for public comment. Okay. Nobody here in the room. So that brings us to the minutes of our December 14th, 2023 meeting. Does anybody have any comments or suggested edits for the minutes? Yes, good point. It doesn't say roll call, but let's call this meeting to order.
Okay, Royce Larson,
Here.
Stephanie Stark,
Here.
David Lackey.
Here.
Alex.
Here.
And Sergio Ricardo.
Here.
All members are in attendance.
Okay, thank you. And with that, let's consider the minutes from the December 14th meeting.
Okay, I do have a couple of comments and corrections. I believe on the second action to approve the October 12 minutes, the vote there was 3-0-2, and it states that Stark and Larson were abstained. I think that was me. That was Sergio that abstained. I believe, wasn't it Matthew here for that vote? I think Matthew from your office,
Yes, and are you referring to which item is it?
so it's not an item, it's number 3. It's the second action below
Oh,
minutes,
Yes,
the approval
correct.
of the minutes.
Yes, Matt Mayton was here to vote on
Right.
those minutes. That is correct.
So then I would ask that the Stark is replaced by Ricardo. And I think the vote stays 3-0-2. My second correction is on item number 1. On the contract number, there was discussion that the new contract number should be 22-FC-011. It's a new farmland security zoned contract. There was discussion about that. Now, I don't know, and I guess perhaps we could ask County Council, since the agenda item was originally under the old contract number and we had discussion to correct it. Do we say that on the action? I don't know that that was part of the action, the vote that we took. So I'm not sure if this is the proper way to correct it, if just correcting the contract number under the agenda item number 1, or if it needs to be mentioned on the action.
Through the chair, Mr. Ricardo, So are you talking, I just guess I want a little clarity because I don't think I was here. So are you talking about the assessor, the 69 AP 038 needs to be
correct.
revised? So up a little bit?
Yep.
You're wondering if
Number one.
that provision needs to be revised because there was some discussion of changing that?
Correct.
I think it's probably okay to leave it as is because it sounds like that's how it was agendized previously, and these are the minutes, and that was something that was discussed during the meeting. So I suppose it could be included in the action item, although if you're saying there was no vote on that, it was just sort of a discussion. I don't know that it's necessary.
Well, I think the action, when David, when you brought it up, when you made the proposed action, you did say that we would find contract number 22 FC 011 consistent with the with ongoing eligibility, from what I remember. So I guess I would defer to you, David.
I think you have a better memory than I do, so I think that could be the case. I guess my question, and that the Farmland Security Zone contract, was that in effect, or did it just take effect January 1 of 2024? It was already
No,
in effect.
it's already in effect.
23. Okay.
Was in effect on 1/1/23. And the reason this kind of, to me, the reason I'm a little concerned about this is because the old contract includes other parcels that are not included in this contract. I think we discussed it.
Yeah, I now that you're dusting off my brain cells, I believe that's kind of what we had talked about. So I think it would be appropriate to just in the action reference the
Would it be okay, Callie, if we leave the contract number 69 AP 038 as is, but on the action item, we say that would that be confusing? If under the action, we replace 69 AP 038 with 22 FC 011?
Through the chair, Mr. Ricardo, I think it makes sense. If your finding was that the new contract number is what meets ongoing eligibility, I think it's a good idea to revise the minutes to reflect that. And I think the language could say, and find new contract and then provide the new number, and in parentheses, you can say which, replaced or superseded 69 AP 038, just
Okay. Yes.
something along
I
those
like
lines.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
I like that suggestion. I think that we should go with that, if everybody is okay with that.
Mhm. Did the new contract fully replace 69 AP 038? Or are you saying that was a broader contract? This is a smaller?
The previous contract, 68, was a larger contract that included multiple other parcels that
Mhm.
are not part of this new contract.
right, that and all of the 69 contract was non-renewed and it was replaced, but not all parcels were in the
Correct,
FC contract.
right. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I recommend the language would be superseding 69 AP 038 because replacing might indicate that, that entire
everything-
contract. Yeah.
correct,
So for
like a
this-
renumbering.
For this particular property, this is the new contract number.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other comments on the minutes?
Yes, Madam Chair, on item number 5, just a very simple typo. Under the action, it says that the item was to continue to the January 11, 2023. That 2023 should be corrected to 2024. And that is all I have.
Very good. Thank you for those attention to details. Anyone else have comments or suggested edits for the minutes? Okay. Make a motion to approve the December December minutes,
December 14th.
December 14th, 2023 minutes as amended.
Second.
And I'll do a roll call. Royce Larson,
Yes.
Stephanie Stark,
Aye.
David Lackey.
Aye.
Alex.
Aye.
And Sergio Ricardo.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, and I am, let's see, looking down the minutes here, or agenda. Our next item is a continued item. Oh, let me ask first, agenda management. Is there anyone here today who's speaking on one of the agenda items that would like to request a continuance? Or has there been any communication with hearing support in terms of requesting continuance on any of the agenda items?
Chair Stephanie, we have not received any requests for continuance, and I've not seen anybody online either.
Okay, thank you.
Question, and maybe it's administrative, but so I noticed on the projection report this morning that I didn't catch when I was looking at the draft agenda that we had a continued item for the January agenda that didn't make it on the agenda. That was the Ballard Ranch Winery that we had continued in the November meeting to January. So I think administratively, we would make sure we have that on the January or the February APAC agenda, but for council, do we need to have some action on that, or is that something just administrative that we can make sure that it is placed on as a continued item on the February agenda?
Mr. Chair, I think you can just direct staff to ensure that that's placed on the next agenda, but I don't think there needs to be a vote or anything.
Okay, great. So I think we'll just coordinate and make sure that that gets on the February agenda and make sure
Okay.
that the applicant is aware that it's going to be on the February agenda.
Okay, thank you. Very good. So no request for continuance. That takes us to our continued items. And our first item for today, item number 1, is the Jimenez Trust Residential Addition and Grading. This is case number 23 LUP 239, requesting additions to an existing single-family dwelling and validation of previous grading activities conducted to repair and improve existing ag roadway leading to the Halama Road. And also looking at ongoing eligibility. So this is a 678-acre property, Ag 2100, and located in the Lompoc area, 70 AP 14154. And we have, let's see, Veronica King here, who's the county planner on the project. Veronica's not here. Okay. Perhaps is there somebody from the owner or agent for the owner here today to give us an overview of the project? We have a number of items in our in the box that was presented for this meeting today. I don't see anybody here today to speak on this item.
I'm not seeing anybody online either.
Okay. So my thinking is continue the item, but before we do that, is there anyone here today who'd like to, from the public who'd like to speak on this item?
Chair Stephanie, we do not have anybody online and nobody in the public
Okay, very good.
audience. Or let's see, someone just raised her hand, but they lowered it, so.
Okay. So I make a motion to continue this item to our February meeting, which would be February 8th meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Royce Larson,
Yes.
Stephanie Stark.
Aye.
David Lackey.
Aye.
Alex.
Aye.
Sergio Ricardo.
Aye.
Vote carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you. That takes us to item number 2, which is Christ Single Family Dwelling. And We have Adam Orta, hopefully here today, the planner on this project, county planner. And perhaps Brett Jones is with us today. This is item number 22 LUP 253, Ag Preserve number 68 AP6, regarding demolition replacement of a single-family dwelling and consistency with uniform rules. This is Assessor Parcel 141-460-004, zoned Act 2100 in the Sandy Nez area. And we do have items in our packet this morning. I was looking at those. Let's see, could we get a brief, oh, thank you for bringing up the map. Could we get a brief overview from either the agent or the county planner, please?
Sure, Stephanie. Good morning. Brett Jones here.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone. Happy New Year. You'll recall we were at the December meeting, and the project is to demolish and rebuild the single-family dwelling, which is on the west side of Refugio, and we needed to amend this site plan, which you'll see on the east side. It was a little confusing. I had a 2-acre envelope over there, but it's actually the incidental boarding and breeding operation envelope. So you'll see if someone could put the cursor over on that note, you'll see that I crossed that out and then revised that. Yeah, a little right there. I'm not sure if it actually comes up, if the note comes up.
Yeah, it's like crossed out in red there.
Okay.
Right below where the hand was before.
Yeah. And the one thing we were lacking is the new owner, Tim Chris, hadn't done the questionnaire. So we worked with Sergio and Gabe last week to get, and early this week, actually, to get that questionnaire turned in to Sergio.
Yes,
And
thanks, Brett. That was received by the assessor's office.
thanks, Sergio. I appreciate that. So I think that was everything that we had discussed. If you need me to go into more detail, as a reminder, let me know.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other comments from the planner or question from the committee members? And the strikeout you're referring to is that one that's up there, right there, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, if I put my cursor over it, then it will. Yeah.
Yeah, it showed
There
up
you
as
go.
red. Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So Brett, I had a follow-up question. So that arena, I believe there was an issue that it was potentially split by the parcel boundary.
That's
And
correct.
that was trying to be resolved with planning and building and whether or not it needed to be removed. Is there any more information on that?
I don't have any more information besides just working with Adam that, we're proposing as part of the project to remove that portion that is going over the property line.
Brett, I do have a question. The vineyards that were, the blocks that were pulled, there are plans. I didn't get a chance to look at the proposed plantings here. So they're getting replaced, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll be replanted this year. I did talk to Tim this morning, and those blocks had termites and were non-productive, so they were ripped out and they are being replanted. I think on that form he showed the irrigation that was purchased for the replanting this year.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
I want to take this opportunity to see if there's anybody from the public who'd like to make a comment on this item.
Sure, Stephanie Stark. We do not have anybody online and no public speakers in the audience.
Thank you. Closing public comment. Any other discussion from the committee? Okay.
I'll make a motion that the committee find the request for new single-family dwelling and incidental animal boarding and breeding envelope consistent with the uniform rules, including Uniform Rule 2-3.1 and that contract 68 AP006 meets ongoing eligibility requirements.
Second that motion?
And then we'll do roll call. Royce Larson,
Aye.
Stephanie Stark,
Aye.
David Lackey,
Aye.
Alex,
Aye.
Sergio Ricardo.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, so Brett, I know you have another item that's coming up, right?
Yeah, number 6.
6, okay. Are you okay hanging out for that next item? Okay.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you guys
Okay.
soon.
All right, thank
Speak
you.
to you soon.
Okay. Okay, so that brings us to item number 3, which is one of our new items. This is for 7K Ranch LLC. For Tammy Martin, agent for the owner, regarding case number 23 LUP 407 regarding upgrades, improvements to an existing breeding, training, and horse facility. And we have Soren Kringle, our planner, county planner, hopefully here today. This is for contract number 94 AP 008. In case number 23 LUP 407, it's a 901.51 acre parcel, zone DAC 2100 099030066, located in the Los Alamos area. And we have a number of items in our packet here today. Do we have is it planner here today? Soren Kringle? Okay. All right, we'll wait.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I do just, and before this is presented by the agent and the planner. So my question is regarding the title of the agenda item. It says employee dwelling units, but when I read the
Mhm.
body of the agenda item, that is not mentioned, and I didn't see an agenda request document in the box account.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if we are actually looking to approve an employee dwelling, or if this is just regarding the upgrades and improvements to the breeding and horse facility.
And perhaps there's somebody here today who can explain that to us?
And another comment, I
Yes.
think there were some approved minutes in that one folder for that item.
That item.
This is for Jonathan and Teresa.
Okay.
Need to.
And then Chair Stephanie,
Yes.
we were just informed that item number 3 and item number 5 will be continued to the February hearing.
Okay. So we're going to continue item number 3. Is there anyone here from the public who'd like to speak on this item before we make a motion to continue this item? Number 3.
Chair Stephanie, we do not have anybody in the audience and nobody online requesting to speak on this item.
Okay. So I make a motion to continue item number 3, 7K Ranch LLC, to the February 8th, is it 8th? 8th meeting.
I will second.
Okay.
So just a quick question. Do we need to know the reason, or is there, I'm sure
Chair,
this is,
Mr.
I mean,
McCarty.
I'm okay with the continuance, but,
Your body has discretion to ask for more information, and to choose not to continue the items, but if you don't want to ask for information, I don't think it's necessary to support the decision to continue.
okay.
So it's up to you.
Thank you.
Was that at the request? We have a motion on the floor that needs to be voted on, but was that at the request of the planner or?
There was a little bit of miscommunication between the planner and myself, and he was supposed to let me know to continue the item,
Okay,
but he just let me know over Teams right now that it was supposed to be continued to the February agenda.
I see. Okay, very good. Thank you for that clarification.
Absolutely. And one more point of clarification,
Yes.
correction on the agenda. Item number 5 needs to be continued to the February meeting as well. That item was originally supposed to be scheduled for February. I misread the request and put it on the January agenda.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead, since we have a motion on the floor, we'll go ahead and vote on item number 3, and then we'll address 5 as that one comes up. Okay,
We have a motion, I'll second.
very good.
Then we had Roy's second already,
Oh,
so.
yes, that's right.
um,
So let's vote. We have to go to vote on item number 3.
Yes, so Royce Larson,
Aye.
Stephanie Stark.
Aye.
David Lackey.
Aye.
Alex.
Aye.
And Sergio Ricardo.
Aye.
And the motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. And perhaps we can maybe adjust the wording on the agenda item for
Right,
next
that was
month.
if staff can coordinate with the planner to make sure that the agenda description is reflective of what the actual request for the
Yeah.
review is.
Very good. So let's just go ahead and since 5 is going to be continuing, let's go ahead and take item number 4. We didn't hear anything on 4, correct? That was, okay. Very good. So item number 4 is for the Shia residence. It's case number, I think 23 LUP 304, and this is for Ag Preserve Contract 08 AP 21. It's a request from the owners, James and Ann Shia, and Adam Orta again is the planner. Regarding the construction of a new single-family house, office building, guest house, pool cabana, and existing residence will be converted to a farm employee dwelling. And also we're looking at consistency with uniform rules. And this parcel is 121.92 acres, APN 141290047, zoned Ag 2100 in the San Ynez area. And we're pulling up one of the maps. This is for the well. Okay, and do we have Adam Orta? Are you here today?
He is not available today, but he informed me that the agent is here and ready to
Agent.
present.
Okay, very good. And would you like to introduce yourself, agent for the case?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Henry Buckingham. I'm the architect for the
Okay.
project. And
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Yeah, thank you for joining us
Um,
today.
Thank you for considering our case.
Yes. Would you like to give us a little brief overview of what's being proposed, please?
Yes, this is a good drawing you have. I'm looking at it on Zoom online, but my audio is coming through the phone.
We can hear you just fine.
But okay, great. The plan you have up is a good one. It shows the left drawing shows the whole parcel, and if you could go back to that previous sheet. Yeah, this is a good one. And then the right drawing shows the proposed construction, which will consist of 4 buildings and a pool. And that is located on the left drawing. It's kind of located in the middle of the parcel. It's kind of got all of the notes and arrows pointing to it. And so the big building on the left side is a main house, which consists of living, dining, kitchen, and 1 bedroom. the building directly across, there's a little courtyard just to the right of it, and then the building directly across up to it is the cabana, and then between them and just above is the pool, and then above that is the it's actually, yeah, above that and kind of over to the right is the AG building. That's the agricultural office that the owner will use as part of the management of the orchard. Property's the agricultural use is the walnut orchard. And then just below that is the guest house. And that's basically it.
Okay, thank you for that overview. We also have, there's approved minutes in our packet as well from,
2017.
yeah, June 2nd, 2017. So is that just approving what's the next?
It's essentially the same project.
That was the
Um,
approval in I believe, 2017 of the of the existing
Okay,
house and other buildings.
Okay.
So there's a house on this that you can see to the north of this proposed envelope. Those buildings were approved in
if you-
2017. Right.
Actually, the approval in 2017 was for this project. It was the same project. It
Was
just
it
was never
this
built.
project?
And
Oh,
our land use permit expired in the course of obtaining approvals.
oh, okay.
We got most of we got through building plan check, and then I didn't realize it at the time, but I thought grading was included in that, and it wasn't. And so grading took a long time to get approved too, and there was COVID the intervening years, and things kind of moved slowly. And the upshot of it all is that the project essentially, the land use permit expired, and so we need to do the approval. This is part of renewing, well, I guess, I don't know if you call it renewing, but renewing the land use permit.
well, I think we're also we may have approved I don't know if these are the exact same plans, but sounds like there was a expiration or stall on the project, so it's before us again.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
okay, all right.
But the part of the request does include the existing. There's two existing buildings that are there. They were existing in 2017 as well. And if you zoom in on the left drawing, you can see them.
Mhm.
They're just north of kind of where the proposed project is. It says existing. One of them says existing. At the drawing.
Yeah, can we zoom in on that? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, existing primary residence to be converted to ag employed residence. And then there's an existing ag employee house next to it. That's it. So that existing conversion of the existing primary to an ag employee dwelling included as part of this request. Well, I don't know if you approve it or not, but that's part of the plan here. in the running of the orchard.
Yeah, so part of the project includes the conversion of an existing dwelling that's going to be converted, they're proposing to convert it to an ag employee dwelling. Okay.
I don't think I saw, as part of the documents that were provided, the list of the duties of, since there's a conversion to employee residence,
Mhm.
demonstrated need for the employee residence, a list of duties for the employee. We still.
Yeah,
need
that's
to-
something we typically ask for is,
Okay.
yeah, demonstrated need for the conversion of that building. Did you provide that the first time to the
Okay.
committee? And if so, perhaps that can be provided again?
What we did provide before was the old minute, we kind of had a narrative that discussed the owner's vision for how the project was going to be run. At the time, there was an orchard manager, a guy named Jose Bear, and that's changed. I need to talk with the owner again and find out exactly what's changed since our 2017 application. But yeah, I have a kind of narrative that I can provide to you as to how everything will function.
Well, thank you for that overview. What I'm thinking at this point, and I want to seek input from my fellow board members, but committee members. With this case, I think what we'll do is we'll end up continuing this, and at least we need information showing demonstrated need for that employee farm employee dwelling, as well as like a map, depicting where the agriculture is on the property, on the premise.
Okay.
Was that
Yeah.
already? I didn't see that in the
It's
box
not
account.
included in this.
Yeah.
It was something that we provided back in 2017.
Okay,
but
yes.
It's not.
So even though it may have been considered by the previous committee, there's different members and uniform rules change over time. So we're just kind of looking at it fresh now. So we're going to be asking for just depicting on a map and as well as calculated acreage, which you do have in that the packet information of the acreage of the agriculture, which sounds like it's walnuts, to qualify the property for ag preserve. That's for continuing, consistency with the uniform rules, as well as it'll help you with demonstrating the need for the farm employee dwelling. We'll also need some kind of narrative for the farm employee dwelling. And if you don't already have depiction of the water source on the, I see domestic water supply, but because it's an irrigated ag operation, we'd want to see that. Any other input from committee members?
Yeah, just to kind of also clarify, so it's based on the map, it says existing ag employee dwelling, and now you're going to be converting or requesting to convert the single family dwelling to the second ag employee dwelling. So we would, part of that is, is there a demonstrated need based on the agriculture on the contracted land to support 2 ag employees? And so that we'll want to have the ag employee duties and responsibilities for both the current ag employees in that ag employee dwelling and proposed for the second ag employee dwelling. I vaguely recall this property several years ago, and maybe just to confirm, because I believe at that time it was a outside ag management company that was managing
right.
the walnuts, and I don't know if that's still the
Ye-
case. And so that kind of plays in also into, well, if the duties of the ag management company are, what in addition is there a demonstrated need for 2 ag employees based on the ag management company's responsibilities?
I can speak to that. I mean, the idea was that we would essentially, or the owner would hire an orchard manager to live there full time, and then they wouldn't need the outside manager to continue. And the construction of the new house would allow the owner to be there and kind of help the new manager. And the overall goal is for the owner to become more involved in the day-to-day functioning of the orchard. But there's I'm not sure. I think they still rely on an outside manager at this point.
Yeah, so all of that information would be
In other
helpful
words-
if you could put that, in context with the responsibilities for the 2 ag employees. That would be helpful for the committee.
And also, one other thing we're going to be looking at is just that depiction that the non-agricultural areas and any surrounding landscaping, things like that, meet that 2 acre, no more than 2 acres. Wait, is this? let me
Yeah, we
check
have
on the-
a-
yeah, 121.
The envelope.
Okay,
Down here.
that's right.
The envelope's kind
So-
of shown on that
right.
line right there.
Yeah, and it helps to have some kind of aerial view as well on the,
Yeah,
underneath
yeah,
as a
we
base
have
layer.
that.
Okay. And I think
Yeah.
Sergio has a comment from the assessor's office.
And I just wanted to offer the information on the annual questionnaire.
Yes.
This property owner, this contract is is consistently responding to the
Terrific.
questionnaire. So thank you.
Henry, did you understand that part? The assessor's just saying, confirming that the owner or somebody from the property is submitting the annual questionnaire to the assessor's office. So thank you for that.
Okay, good. I'm not sure who it is, but I'll let the owner know. Maybe it's probably him, actually.
Thank you.
Are you the one that sees it?
The assessor's office gets
questionnaire?
it. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
It's the agency, yeah, the department sees it, assessor's office.
The assessor's office. It's a county
Okay.
required. And the new questionnaire will be going out actually as we speak. I think they're being mailed out to all contracts. So property owner will be getting a new one.
Okay.
Appreciate the response.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is part of the kind of on the Williamson Act, right? Like how every owner under a contract gets
Correct.
Yeah,
a questionnaire.
it's correct. It is one of the requirements.
Okay, are there any other comments from our committee members before we open this up for public comment or questions? Okay. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak on this item?
I have not received any public comment request, and I do not have anybody listed online.
Okay, thank you very much. Close public comment. Would someone like to make a motion?
So I'll make a motion that we continue this item. And so, Mr. Buckingham, if we continue this to the February 8th meeting, is that sufficient time for you to submit the information on the ag employee duties that we had requested?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
that's, I'm checking real quick to see if I want to make sure I'm there. Yeah, I'll be there, and I'll be sure to provide the information you guys are looking for them. And would I just provide it to Mr. Orta, the planner?
Yes, so you can, and so Jonathan and Teresa, when would the planner need to get that to you? because they'll need to have some lead time, like a week before.
Yeah, a week before the meeting, we'll need to have that. Once it's verified by the planner, we can upload to Box.
Okay, so Mr. Buckingham, you would need to get that information to Adam Orta before February 1st. And so is that time frame, do you
Yep.
think that's workable?
That works.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it does.
Very good. So I will make a motion that we continue this item to the February 8th APEC meeting to provide the applicant opportunity to provide additional information for the both the existing and proposed ag employee, the duties, the agricultural duties, in support of the agriculture on the property, and to provide acreage and mapping of existing agriculture on the property.
A second.
We'll do roll call. Royce Larson. Stephanie Stark.
Hi.
I thought I heard. David Lackey.
Aye.
Alex.
Aye.
Sergio Ricardo.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Buckingham. And we will see
Thank
you
you.
February 8th.
Okay, see you then.
All right, thank you
Bye.
very much. Okay, so let's takes us to item number 5, and this is one, again, we're going to continue. So I make a motion to continue item number 5, Raw Land Development Company LLC to the February. Sorry, hold that thought. Is there anybody who'd like to make public comment on item number 5, Raw Land Development Company LLC?
We do not have any public comment on this item.
Okay, very good. Close public comment. So again, make a motion to continue item number 5, Raw Land Development Company LLC, new single-family dwelling to the February 8th meeting.
Second?
We'll do roll call. Royce.
I'm sorry.
Aye.
A quick
ahead.
comment.
Yes.
Before the vote. This is another item where I think we need to amend the body of the agenda, because at the top it says that it's a new single-family dwelling, but when you read it, it doesn't mention
Oh.
that that's what it's for.
Okay.
It only mentions that it's for a driveway. And
Wow. Okay. Will do. So we're doing roll call?
Yes, we are. Royce Larson.
Aye.
Stephanie Stark.
Aye.
David Lackey.
Aye.
Alex.
Aye.
Sergio Ricardo.
Aye.
And then motion passes with the amendment to update the body.
Very good. Thank you. All right. That takes us to item number 6, Fess Parker Winery Barn. This is Ag Preserve number 72 AP 194, and Adam Orta is the planner. Brett Jones is the agent, still with us. And this is for case number 23 LUP 425, requesting approval for proposed barn and consistency with the uniform rules. This is for a property at 713.85 acres, and it's APN 133-110044, zoned Ag 2 320, and this is in the Los Olivos area. We're pulling up items right now, and Brett, if you'd like to give us a brief overview of the project while we're doing
Sure.
that. Thank you.
Sure. Good morning again. You'll recall we were here a couple months ago for the winery parking lot change where we moved it south on Fox and Canyon Road. This is, if you can move in the drawings, you'll see a picture. This is actually, so this isn't related to the winery. This is related to vineyard and ranch use. They need a storage barn in this vineyard area, which is north of the winery and with close proximity to Fox and Canyon Road. So you'll see it's depicted there. And then there should be another sheet that actually has a picture, and you'll see the barn location in the middle of some existing vineyards. There you go. Great. Perfect. Thank you. About 110 acres of vineyard on the property. And you'll recall at our last meeting, we were continued on the winery parking lot because the owners had not done the annual questionnaires. So we took care of that issue. Those were submitted, and the winery parking lot was approved. So this is just a simple storage barn that will go in that location with close proximity to Ballard Canyon and to these northern vineyards here. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. Any questions or comments from committee members?
We did get, just confirming what
Yep.
Brett just said, that we did get the questionnaire last year, as was required for the other agenda item that they came for.
Yep.
So that's confirmed. And no questions.
Okay. Is there, I'm going to open up for public comment unless there's any other questions or comments from committee members. Okay. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak on this item?
Chair Stark, we do not have anybody online and no one in the audience with public comment.
Thank you. Close public comment.
I'll make a motion that we find the request for winery barn consistent with the uniform rules, and that contract 72 AP 194 meets ongoing eligibility requirements.
I will second.
And then we'll do roll call. Royce Larson,
Aye.
Stephanie Stark,
Aye.
David Lackey,
Aye.
Alex.
Aye.
Sergio Ricardo,
Aye.
and then motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you very much. Nice and
Thank you,
quick.
everyone.
All right. Okay, that takes us to item number 7. This is our last item, project for Blanco grading and ag access road improvements. We have a, perhaps the agent is here, Kevin DeSantos, who's the county planner. And we also have hopefully a representative, or maybe not, from Henry Blanco for case number 15 LUP 72. This is Ag Preserve number 69 AP 036, and it's for the construction of a road to allow access occupancy clearance for the owner's home at 4375 Sweeney Road. And this is a 346 acre parcel, APN 099150016 and Ag 2100, located in the Lompoc area. There's some additional detail in the about the cubic yards of the amount of material. And is there the agent here today with us, Kevin De Los Santos? Like it?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
May I make a comment? So in looking at this contract, I noticed that Mr. Blanco doesn't own this contract, but rather he owns a contract that is in close proximity to this contract. I believe the item or the proposed road is going through the property that we're looking at, 68 AP. I mean, I'm sorry, 69 AP 036. So that kind of presents my concern being, I mean, I guess my question is, do we look at it on the contract that's on the agenda, or should we change the contract to Mr. Blanco's contract and discuss his property?
I see somebody approaching the podium. Before we get there, let me ask council, should we be discussing this project has the owner been properly notified?
Madam Chair, I think it would be helpful to get a little clarity about what the request is. but
Okay.
If we're talking about a contract on a parcel that is, where the owner has not been notified and involved, I would recommend that we
Okay.
confer with the landowner.
And perhaps David, who's our planning representative, might have some information for
I
us.
see Mr. Fox is, I'd like to turn first just to give, so I think Kevin De Los Santos is the planner, and my presumption is that typically for the land use permit, the landowner, both landowners would need to sign to that permit that they know that there's an application for this road on their property. So they're aware that there's an application for this road on the property that isn't Mr. Blanco's. Kevin, are you there that you could provide some context? before we
Yeah.
go?
Yeah, thanks, David. Yeah, this is the planner. My name is Kevin De Los Santos.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. So we've had prior correspondence with our council team, and they pointed out that the project is a request to construct a road through an existing easement. Sorry, the project description you have is not totally accurate. The easement or the road they're constructing will provide access to properties that are to the east of the existing parcel. When we discussed with council, they said that because there's an existing ag contract over the entire property, that the easement is still part of that ag preserve contract. And so the applicant today, who's not the owner of the property, still has to find that the project is consistent with the uniform rules.
Kevin, one question. This is Sergio. So there's an easement. Was there already a road through that easement? Do you know?
There's no road through the easement. The easement's over existing agricultural fields. There's been a longstanding history that I'm sure the agent team could provide some background on, but it was recently, there was a civil dispute that was, I believe, settled in Superior Court that allows the applicant to construct the proposed road through the easement, which is existing agricultural fields right now.
And the reason I was asking is typically if it's just a replacement, we wouldn't even see this. Would we, David, as APAC members, if they're only regrading and resurfacing a road that was already there, would we even get to see this item?
And I don't know the legal history, but presumably, this is an access road, not necessarily an agricultural road, where if they're just doing that, there isn't we wouldn't have a requirement unless it exceeded some slope and grading issues. So, but it's any land use entitlements on contracted land would need to be reviewed by APAC. And since there's a land use permit for this construction of the road through the easement, that's why we're seeing it. And so I think that's the distinction between just if the landowner was putting in a new ag road on their property, that wouldn't be subject, and we wouldn't see that.
Thank you, Kevin. And before we go to the gentleman who wants to speak at the podium, what is it you're specifically looking for from the committee today? Is it anything particular? Just consistency with uniform rules? Is there anything specific? Can help just narrow our scope if we have questions from the outset about the what are the questions?
And I think, I'll step in just
Sure.
to add to it. I mean, I think that's probably it, as a sort of a function with our uniform rules, because there's a land use permit that's being proposed for this road on contracted land.
Yeah.
That's one trigger of why it's here.
Yes.
And so even though it's on a separate property, we would look at whether or not that road, that application for this road and easement raises any issues with the ag production or contract, and presumably making a determination that it is or is not, in conformance with uniform rules.
Okay. Still not entirely clear. Council, hearing what we're hearing, is we can proceed with our hearing today. Are there any issues with what we've heard when I checked in with you earlier on this case?
Madam Chair, I think you can continue with the hearing. I think
Okay.
It'd be good to hear from the applicant's team.
Yes.
Recommend proceeding with some caution, in the event that you were going to find the property is not eligible. We might need to bring the landowner in to kind of talk about
Yes.
that sort of thing. But I think if there's kind of no problem with this project, that's kind of a different scenario. So
Yes.
maybe we take it step by step.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. So Kevin De Los Santos, if it's okay with you, we'll go ahead and hear from, I think it's the owner.
Please do.
Good
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm the representative of the owner, Randy Fox, attorney with Reese, Fox and Bartlett. Our team is in Santa Maria, so they're on their way here. They didn't expect it to go quite as quickly this morning, so congratulations on getting a lot of stuff done. Really, the question here is the court. There's a dispute. There's been a long-running dispute between Mr. Blanco, who owns property to the east, and the Cargasachis, which own the property that the road is on. There's an existing dirt road or existing road that does not have all-weather pavement on it that goes, as you look at your map, you can see it kind of goes up toward the upper right-hand corner, but goes up to some farmhouses, and then it comes back down, and it joins where the MOA, we call the new road, the Memorandum of Agreement Road, because there was an agreement made in 1990 to construct the road at this particular location. Mr. Blanco is one of 38 owners of the Lakeview subdivision, which does not have currently any access to a public road other than the dirt road that goes across the Cargasachi property. That's why the MOA was created in 1990 in order to allow the 38 owners to get access that could be all-weather surface that would meet fire department requirements so that they could get building permits to build houses there. Mr. Blanco didn't start this project. It was started by someone else. And that person constructed the house that Mr. Blanco has built on his property that was referred to earlier. It's 80% complete and he wants to finish it. The court, there was a court battle about it, and last summer, the court, Judge Staffel in Santa Maria, determined that the existing dirt road had to be abandoned, and this new road, called the MOA road, had to be constructed if anybody was going to use their properties in the Lakeview subdivision in any manner that required some kind of a permit from the county or government agency. So Mr. Blanco, of course, wasn't keen on that idea of having to do it all himself, but he finally came to the realization that it was not going to get done if he didn't do it. So he's the one who submitted this application. He had the road designed and spec'd. He put the application together. Francis Romero is the chief planner, and Brianna Daniels at Stantec is the engineer on the project. And they designed the road for us. My question here is I was the attorney who originally said that I didn't think it had to come to the APAC because there was a memorandum of agreement that transferred an interest in where the MOA road is out to numerous people, Hank Blanco being one of them, in 1990. And the contracts that had been renewed after that point no longer included this piece because it's an MOA road. It's an easement across somebody's property, and it's not subject any longer to the owner's discretion to put it in the Williamson Act or not. That didn't get resolved in my favor, which is not the worst thing that ever happened because it's nice to have your input on this kind of stuff anyway and see where you are. But you can see that it's unique kind of situation. The 38 people that own properties to the east are stopped from using their properties unless the MOA road is approved and built. So we're asking that you authorize us to build the road as it's shown here. It has ag cross, you can see the ag crossings to protect existing agriculture. The Cargasachis grow crops both north and south of the proposed new ag road. What we would do, what we're required to do under the MOA is provide crossings for them. We're required to complete the construction or the grading of the road at least before the end of March this year, which is a hot button. It's very difficult. So we appreciate you taking us promptly on your agenda and get this done. One of the other requirements is that we abandon or take away the existing dirt road that's used to access the Lakeview subdivision, the one that goes up to the north. And so we won't be taking away the part that's shown on the diagram here because that leads to the Cargasachis farmhouse and facilities. But there's a section equal length that goes to the east that we will be eliminating because it won't be needed anymore and it can be turned back into row crops or whatever it needs to be. And so what we really need is you're okay to say that building this MOA road here is consistent with the Cargasachis ag preserve contract. It doesn't really have any effect on Hank Blanco's ag preserve contract at all.
Mr. Fox, I'm going to switch over to our aerial just because
Perfect. That's
we're
fine.
having
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
spatial challenge
Trying to
identify
visualize
where
it,
that map is,
exactly.
so.
Thank you.
Says host disabled person.
I just might add that the problem was created in the 1960s when the Lakeview subdivision was first formed and it didn't have access to a public road. I think way back in the day, the thought was that they were going to build a dam across the river, the San Ynez River, and use a roadway across the top of the dam. Obviously, that couldn't get done and didn't get done. And so there have been numerous iterations of this easement agreement. They culminated in the 1990 memorandum of agreement that Judge Staffel ordered we comply with and quit fooling around and build the road.
Right. So where my hand this is the contract that we're looking at, the Cargasachis property. I think this is Mr. Blanco's property. So, Mr. Fox, is the road coming to the south or is it coming along this area?
So it's actually going to go, if you go at the property line on the western edge of the Cargasachi property, and it's going to go straight across those fields to where it leaves the eastern boundary of the Cargasachi property. And then it joins onto you can see the road along the hillside there that eventually goes over to Hank Blanco's property. So it's going to go straight across those fields.
Okay.
I didn't pick it. It got picked by the Cargasachis. That's where they wanted it.
So it's not following that existing
No.
ag road
Exactly. The existing ag road
south of it.
has to be removed, or the eastern portion of it.
Okay.
Part of our responsibility when we build the new road is to get rid of the old road.
You're
Okay.
you're going to get rid of this portion?
Yes, up there, all the way, keep going left, keep going up to the upper left, follow the road. Yeah, keep going left, higher. There we go. Along there. And I think I think it's going to end all the way back at the Cargasachi's house, although I'm not sure if it's going to end at the
Here.
edge of their field or at the
Okay.
the facilities right there.
Okay. But the road in question
We'll go,
to access the parcels to the east is going to come through these existing fields.
correct.
Oh,
That's Sweeney Road. That's where it ends.
it's like a street.
Thank you.
Somewhere there, it merges.
Thank you.
Oh, then it'll come into and then continue down. Okay.
And is the one south of that? Where's the one? Highway
Uh,
1?
There is no road south of it. I think there's
Oh,
an
river,
access
I mean,
that the
it's
farmers
okay.
used.
Here.
I thought it was kind of between like Lompoc and
some,
Okay.
It's kind of far from
Oh,
246 and
I'm
one.
a
I
little,
haven't been out there in a long time.
Madam Chair, I'm a little bit familiar with
Okay.
A lot of survey
being the county
issues.
surveyor, so there was a public road down along the river at one point, but never was improved or was in use back in 100 years ago.
Right.
And then the dirt road was used for the access for the neighborhood to the east from Mr.
One is out
Cargazzacci.
here and 246.
Okay. So that, if we go back to that zoomed in area, we were looking at a minute ago where the road is or proposed. The contract boundaries for that area, do they, overlap that field border? Does anybody know?
But for the,
Trying to get my head around where the contract
so
lines
this
are.
parcel is a,
That's
that's
the
the contract right
Okay,
there.
okay,
only
it's
one parcel.
coterminous with the parcel.
Right,
Okay,
they
Correct.
also own this parcel to the east, but that's not in.
okay, I see,
And then Mr. Blanco's is, yeah, that one.
I see.
And
yes.
that one was
That's a
split.
that was non-renewed.
It's a non-renewed because it was split.
Right, because
of
of this issue.
different ownership.
Yeah, I remember that one.
But we're really focused on where that road is going and that,
Right.
Correct.
okay, and is that's not 69 AP 36, Blanco's is 69 AP
No,
36?
this is 69.
Oh, okay, it is, I see, okay. So before us is what we're considering, if I understand, is the impact of putting that potential ag road through the fields.
And then my question too is, since we're talking about Mr. Blanco's contract too, is, and I think I saw,
Are we? We're not talking
or
about
are
this
we?
contract.
We're not?
Not really. Mm-mm.
Okay.
And just so I understand, are we also looking at any, all consistency with uniform
Yeah,
rules
see
with
that?
regard to 69 AP 36, this Kawasaki? I just want to make sure I'm saying the name right. Is that correct?
Argasachi, yes.
Kawasaki.
Argasachi.
Kawasaki. Okay. Yes.
That's what we would normally do.
Yes, that's what we would normally do, and that's how it's agendized. So I just want to be clear on that.
Face value.
Yes, yes, and we know it's a property under production.
Kevin has.
Yes, Kevin, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kevin. Thank you,
Sorry,
David.
I was just going to say that in the folder, the APAC folder for this project, there's a submittal letter. And on the second page of that submittal letter, it shows where the proposed road goes through the ag field, just if you wanted to see it on their site plan they provided. a
Yes, I
separate
see
image.
that. Oh, I see, very clear. Thank you for pointing that out.
Okay, so it goes to the bend right there.
Yeah,
Kind of, oops. That just jumped. Kind of going along here straight to the gate.
yes, we're going to share that on the screen as well for the public. While we're doing that, is there anybody else here from the public who would like to speak on this item?
I don't have anybody online and nobody in the audience to speak
Okay,
on.
thank you. Kevin, was there any other things you wanted to kind of point to our attention as far as concerns about that road? There was some details in with the agenda description and provided in the letter and the content for the planning or the APAC to consider. Anything
Yeah, no,
else you
Mr.
want to
Fox-
bring to our attention?
Now, Mr. Fox provided a great background on the project, and as Mr. Lackey mentioned earlier,
Okay.
The project is just coming before you because the land use entitlement has the the ag preserve contract over the property, but I
Yeah,
have nothing else to add.
yeah. Do we have any estimate on how much how much area is going to be taken out of production? Do we have any estimate on that?
Yeah, I can give you the updated calculations, which the previous project description was not Correct. It's a 20-foot wide road spanning 3,945 feet, and the grading calcs are less than what the project description says, which is approximately 1,100 cubic yards of cut and 860 cubic yards of fill.
Okay, so do we have an acreage calculation? Less than an acre?
I could calculate that
acres.
on the side here, but I don't have that right away.
So it's 20 feet. by
Okay, so it's less than half an acre, or, yeah, there's 43. Okay, so like less than half an acre. Okay,
Some slope grading on that road as well,
Okay.
so it's gonna be more than just
Yeah.
a paved road.
Madam Chair, if I may, I have my project team from Santa Maria's here. and
welcome.
them participate.
Thank you for
They're all
coming
planner
down.
on it.
Okay,
Anna Daniels from Stantec. They can
Thank you for
answer
joining
technical
us.
questions that lawyers don't know.
okay. Well, thank you for joining us. Got a great overview from Mr. Fox, and I think David Lackey was going to maybe ask a question.
Yeah, as far as just the road itself, so is this going to be all-weather or paved road?
Yeah, it'll be an all-weather road, access road,
Okay.
not
And
paved.
presume, obviously, some drainage considerations that are going to be controlled, so it's not affecting the adjacent.
Correct. There are concrete crossings for the drainage that not only are they for drainage, but they were agreed for access to drive across between the crops.
And it's probably in the documentation, but is this rotational crops for seed or what? It used to be seed crops out there, I think, a long time ago, but
We don't know what the owner of the property is growing.
okay.
Madam Chair, the property owner, Mr. The Kargasachis, do respond to the annual questionnaires. On the questionnaire, they only show that they are leasing 133 acres for field crops.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really say what kind of.
Yeah, okay.
They actually did write at the bottom, no grape production. So I'm assuming there's also maybe a vineyard. They're not getting any grapes in the vineyard. It doesn't, from the aerial, doesn't seem like this is part of the vineyard, maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe this is a question for Alex, and I don't know if Alex knows, but just on this map, I mean, it's showing it, the red alignment as Sweeney Road. Does the green alignment now become Sweeney Road and the red alignment is just becomes private ag road? It's not defined as being Sweeney Road?
I believe in both cases, it is a private road. I don't know if it is named Sweeney Road. It's labeled as Sweeney Road there, but there are some rules with the planning and development, chapter 35 about the road naming. So I'm not sure in this case if it is named as a road officially by the county.
If I may, Sweeney Road is a public road to just to the east or to the west of this, excuse me, and it becomes private prior to this. I would imagine that it historically has maintained the name Sweeney Road, whether it was on the public or the private portion. So I would imagine that would remain the same. The old road will go out of service, so there will not be two roads.
And to clarify, so this is now going to be public or
No.
will it remain
Will remain private.
private? Okay,
Correct.
gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, I was thinking that the landowners would still be utilizing that segment, but it sounds like the road's gonna go away and then the access provisions for the new segment, it will be how the landowners access their home site currently. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I'm not aware that this is officially named as Sweeney Road by the county.
It's a historic. It is officially on the public portion, without doubt.
So this segment is a 20-foot wide easement or is it 20-foot paved or improved road?
20-foot improved road.
Okay.
Easement is wider.
Is the width of that road wider than the current Sweeney Road, presumably to meet fire department.
Correct, yes, it is.
Okay.
And I believe there are some slope grading that affect the width of the easement. Is that correct?
Exactly, yes.
Any idea what's the acreage of the crop that it's gonna be affected by the road? Displaced?
I thought we were, so just the 20-foot width by less than 1,000, that would be, it's wider than that. Oh, the easement.
I believe the difference between the proposed and it's in the application, which I don't have in front of me, and maybe Kevin has that, but it's less than 3/4 of an acre, the difference between the proposed and the existing.
There isn't any fee changes, it's just an easement, right?
So I'm just kind of perusing kind of the uniform rules and thinking, in general, when, we look at something like roads going through an ag area, we look to see, is that going to be increasing any potential development or any conflicts with adjacent contracts, bringing in any potential new conflicts for the ag production. I don't see any of that with this, the proposed road. So just looking at it from that perspective, I don't see any issues with this, but want to bounce it back to my colleagues here and see if they have any comments or thoughts they want to share.
Madam
I
Chair,
would-
if I may.
Oh, go ahead, Royce.
Go ahead, Royce.
As far as other conflicts, and I don't know what these row crops are, if that's simply a hardened road rather than a paved, there will be dust, and if there's 38 landowners that could be building over there, you could have quite a bit of traffic actually going through there. I don't know if there will be, but that's the potential of it.
Well, as I understand it, the MOA? This is just it's a road. Wouldn't they have already been using the other road? It's just settling a longstanding legal issue of access to those Lakeview Estate properties that have not been developed, as I understand it.
That's correct. The owners of the Lakeview Estates are currently using the road that's shown in red.
Yeah,
The diagram, they'll switch and start using the road in green.
right. And the Lakeview Estates, are they all developed or is this? No.
They're not.
Yeah.
developed.
Okay.
I think part of the reason is because they didn't have the,
Access, right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think Royce makes a
Yeah,
point because now this is going to remove an impediment that more of those lots may have the ability to develop.
right. Good point. Yeah. However, it's also gone through the courts and
Yeah.
they're looking
I
at
mean,
moving the
presumably,
road.
I mean, if I was the Cargasachis, I mean, they've already negotiated the
Yes.
connections, and if dust management or some other drainage issues with the road, I'm sure there would have been conditions that they would have worked with to address their concerns, so.
And I also heard too that isn't this the preferred route from the Cargasachis to begin with, right? They had input on that.
That's correct.
Yeah.
We wanted to use the existing roadway and they didn't want it there. But this
Oh.
was back in the 1990s.
Yes.
This all happened. They wanted it removed away from their compound.
Yes.
and do we know if Cargasachis are noticed and notified about this meeting?
That goes back to our original conversation we had at the beginning. Sounded like they are noticed as part, I don't know about this meeting, but they were noticed as part of the process, for the planning process. So is there a technicality here where,
Madam Chair, I think we could get maybe some clarity from the planner about
okay,
Kargasachi's involvement.
Yeah, I can provide some insight. So I'm not sure exactly how the noticing requirements are done for this APAC meeting, but the land use permit was recently, the project description has recently been finalized. So the land use permit was just noticed earlier this week. As far as processing the land use permit, we've had correspondence with our council team, and the determination has been made that the land use permit can be processed without authorization from the owner of the overarching property, because the members of the access agreement have rights to the easement, so they have rights to construct this road through the easement.
I would
and-
also insert that the property was posted, I think on Monday, with notice that the hearing was going to happen today and that we had applied for a land use, a permit to build the road. So I don't know what notices they got personally mailed to them or whatever, but I do know that that's their main driveway, and there was a notice of development sign posted for them to take a look at when
Yeah.
they drove in and out.
yeah. Thank you for that. So for clarification, hearing support, when we do notification, like for a property that's normally noticed, it's a little unusual, this situation, but like the owners of 69 AP 36 would be the Kargasachis, and they, just for clarification, they weren't sent a notice of that their property was going to be discussed today, correct? Okay, yeah. So Callie, what do you think?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
the difficult question, because I think it sounds like they have notice of the land use permit and they're not necessarily in a position to have to approve that or get on
Yes.
board with that permit. This is a little different because you're agendized to consider the eligibility under
Of the
Williamson
property,
Act, and it's kind of hard to do that without the landowner here to answer
Yes.
questions about the impact of the road and what they're growing.
Mm,
So I think you have some discretion about what you
Mhm.
want to do here. I can see why you're struggling, but you may have enough information if, between the questionnaire and the kind of limited impact that this road will have on the agriculture, you may have enough to find ongoing eligibility, but I can certainly see why you might also want to hear from the landowner.
Could this, and this is just an idea that it came to me. Could this be something that we do that we don't look at the consistency, that we, what do you call it?
Bifurcate.
Bifurcate.
Oh.
Mhm.
And then just look at the road by itself, the construction of the road, and then not look at consistency because the owner isn't here and he probably wasn't noticed. Would that be a way to resolve this issue?
Yeah, and kind of taking that one step kind of forward a little bit. Can we just not look at consistency with the uniform rules and with this respect? I know it's on the agenda, but is that appropriate in this case?
I mean, from what I heard, Callie said is we may have enough information. I feel pretty confident that they do meet the requirements.
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with the.
Yeah, so we could go ahead and do that. Okay. It doesn't sound like there's any liability being put on the county by not noticing the owner directly. So with that, I don't want to create any problem when there isn't one.
Just as additional information, I did find under the agricultural activity supplement document, the loss of the agricultural land is 1.68 acres, but then it says that there's a gain of 0.82 acres. So,
Excuse me, that's caused by the removal of the existing road that's being used.
Okay.
So the new road is
More direct.
more direct, and it takes away and
Yep.
restores part of the old road back to ag.
You get a net
So that's
plus.
why it's a net number.
Okay, I see.
The other thing I might point out is that Hank Blanco brought the lawsuit, and effectively he lost the lawsuit. He wanted to be able to use the red road and improve it to standards that fire department required. Cargasachi's fought hard to have it put in the green,
Mm,
in the green space
mhm.
it's located, and so this is their desired
Yeah.
location for the road.
As counterintuitive as that may be. Yeah,
So just a question in terms of those calculations that the existing road it presumes that it will be put back into production. Is there anything with the years of use that has been compacted? Is there anything that has an obligation for some party to restore it to an agricultural available?
The MOA from 1990 is in your files, and it's part of the agreement. That when the new
That it be
road is
returned to
built,
agriculture.
that the portion that's not used of the existing road will be
oh,
restored.
okay. All right.
And just to
That's
tag
helpful.
on to the conversation, I too, generally, just looking at the aerial, and I don't see any issues that would raise a concern of not being able to make the ongoing conformity determination. If there was something that potentially would be adverse to the contract owner, I would have a concern about taking action without them being.
Yes,
noticed, but I don't
yes.
think there's something that's going to
Yes.
put them in an adverse condition.
Yes. Nor do I, for the record. I just was bringing that up. Okay. Let's see here. Got public comment. Any other comments from the planner?
No comments from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the team?
I just want to say thank you for your thoughtful consideration of the facts of this one. It's a little different than most of the projects that come in before you. I'm imagining with the amount of litigation and the amount of decades that this has been a pending project. We're just really excited to finally provide a truly safer way for people to access their lots, because right now it's not an all-weather surface. And with the recent weather we've had, fire has had some difficulty getting through this area. So we think it'll be a real benefit for everybody.
And that can be a benefit for ag too, to have a paved surface too. So yeah, they benefit from that as well.
Maybe just a side question. So since the green segment is going to be widened to 20 feet down the road for the segment to the east, will fire department require additional widening of that current width of Sweeney Road?
That's correct. There are improvements that are necessary for that portion of the road, and those will be handled separately under a separate permit.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Good detail. Okay. Committee members, someone like to make a motion? Yep. Construction of a road.
I'll make a motion that the committee find that 15 LUP 072 application for construction of a road across contract 69 AP 036 is consistent with the uniform rules, and that contract 69 AP 036 meets ongoing eligibility requirements.
Second?
I'll do a roll call. Royce Larson,
Aye.
Stephanie Stark,
Aye.
David Lackey.
Aye.
Alex,
Aye.
Sergio Ricardo.
Aye.
And the motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you all.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kevin, for attending. Your participation is very helpful.
Yes, thank you, Kevin.
Okay. Very good. So that ends our projects. Next item is the reports from committee members. Is there anything anybody would like to share with the committee?
Yes, Madam Chair. Monthly recordings through the county recorder's office. We only saw a couple of contract assumptions. And the one non-renewal that we discussed last month was also part of that report. And a brand new, well, I think it's a replacement contract of the Stagliano property, which we approved, earlier last year. And I mean, I think there was some drama with the recording of that contract, but it was recorded before December 31st. And so it met the deadline to become effective on 1/1/24.
Okay, thank you.
Sergio, I did have a question. So with the 2024 questionnaire going out now, how long do the landowners have to, or when do you request them that they submit that information by?
Thank you. Yes, I forgot about that. So yes, the letters are going out as we speak. And we gave them until March 1st. It's a suggested deadline. We really don't have a hard deadline, but we've always put down a deadline, and it's always been around February, end of February. And this year we decided let's just make it March 1st.
My thought was, and I don't know if you're attending AAC today,
No.
but I will be. Just
Okay.
Because, so for the Ag Advisory Committee, they have their monthly meeting today. I think we had kind of danced about using that form as just a reminder. And so, Sergio, I'll get any language from you or contact information if they have questions, more so just to let them know, hey, look in your mail, you're going to be getting these. It's traditional mail, it's not email, right? How do they receive?
It's a traditional, it's a USPS mail. So it's not emailed or, and this year, thank you for reminding me, I need to send another reminder to our IT department. We discussed having a link on our website, and I've requested the link to be put on the website for the questionnaire. I don't think it's there yet. I can check. I don't think it is. I would have been told. And I think, Stephanie, Madam Chair, you were going to also link your website. Maybe even END could use the same.
Sure.
And link it to the questionnaire.
Definitely.
So I'll ask about that form being posted on our website.
And just for at least today will be a heads up, but we'll try to get more information to them in even subsequent meetings. But if there's, for general questions, is it just, should they contact you, or is there a main person?
The Ag Preserve team, we have 3 appraisers and myself. So anybody can answer any question. Typically, when the letters are mailed, they do have the assigned appraiser listed at the bottom of the letter, so they can contact the right appraiser. But anybody can answer a general question.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'll make a general announcement at today's AE.
Thank you.
That's great. And that'll also be at the same meeting when our staff we're right now doing our questionnaires for the crop report. So, sometimes people get confused. I already filled that out, which one? So it's a little bit confusing because we have our annual production ag report. We do, and we're doing we also do email, and I think it's mostly email. We don't do snail mail, but yeah, that's good that we're covering all of our bases. Yeah.
Chair, probably worth mentioning the planning changed the nomenclature of the case numbers. It caused a little snafu with the recording Stagliano's contract. I had to rewrite at least the caption of the legal description for the contract last minute before.
They're changing what now, did you say?
The case number nomenclature.
Oh, they are?
Yes, it's been changed, so it causes a little confusion. There's old style and new style. And I believe there is some cutoff date as far as the project, and that's what we need to pay attention when we reference the case number in the legal descriptions for the contract.
Okay.
The old ones that we started based on the case number might have been changed, and clerk of the board called me in the last minute before the recording deadline for the end of the year to change modify the legal
Okay.
description.
Yeah.
To include the case number, because the recorder looks at everything.
Yeah.
They are very detailed in their review of
Yeah.
documents that they record, so it's something to pay attention.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Royce, did you have any comments or any?
I have a couple of questions. One, and this may just be more for me than the others, but when we continue an item, the notes pretty much our minutes pretty well just say we continued the item. Is there a way to add to that what the reason was? We're often asking for other information or for them to come back. And maybe that's not appropriate, but I'm just wondering for helping me to prepare.
Track it. Yeah, no, I think sometimes we do that. Like if somebody has a case that, I believe we did that today, correct? Like with one that we needed to come back with a map or acreage. But I guess other
But
ones
I
where
don't- Do they ever get into the minutes? That's what I'm.
yes, yes. But like,
Okay.
for example, one of the items was continued from the last meeting. We didn't say why. Maybe
Yeah,
we need to be more attentive to that. That's a good thought. It gives a thread for us to remember, why.
Exactly.
But if we're asking something for the applicant, I think we almost always put why.
okay.
Yeah, and Royce, I think for example, in our unapproved minutes for December, that item number 5, the Chris single-family dwelling that we saw today.
Yeah,
In the motion to continue it, it included the information that they needed the relabeled site map. and
Yeah, okay.
This type of thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
we, it's a good reminder for us, I think most of the time it's when we're requesting information that's specific that we need
yeah,
to take action on. We want to make sure that the applicant and owner, we have it in the minutes because
Mhm.
we can refer to that was part of our action.
Yeah.
So would
Good.
it be helpful if I include continued by the applicant or continued by the planner? Instead of just,
If it's in the motion, yeah, I'd say it's on us to put it in the motion, correct?
Yeah, and a lot of times if there's like when we do the first part of the meeting, if there's a request to continue,
Yeah.
it's from the owner or applicant because they need additional time, we try to, and it's a good reminder.
Yeah.
To try to have that as part of the reason why we're continuing it.
Yeah, so if we don't include it, maybe you could say
I could just.
why.
why?
Prompt us.
Fair start.
Yeah. Very good. Good
Um,
conversation. That's helpful.
Then one other item, and this is just looking down the road a year or so. I suspect, I don't know this for sure, but I suspect the university won't be replacing Matthew's position for 2 or 3 years. That's just because of the way they work.
Yeah.
That's one issue. I'm going to be retiring about a year, no more than 2. And so I'm wondering, I know that you have cooperative extension, someone with range experience, but it could come to the point where we don't have anybody with range experience in our office anymore for a short time, a year or 2 or whatever it takes. But we have another person, a viticulture advisor, Mark Batney. I talked with him. He's agreed to be an alternate if that would work out with this committee and with the county. And then if needed, he could step in if we don't have a new person yet by the time I retire.
Yeah, Royce, I think that would, be great. And we, certainly Stephanie, but we've also even had Mark here on other items and just, yeah. I mean, you're right. Traditionally, we've kind of had that perspective from range management. But just having the membership for UC Cooperative Extension is valuable because we encounter it on avocados and other vineyard issues. And so I think that expertise and perspective is helpful.
Yeah, and then specifically in the rules themselves, they just mention a cooperative extension agent. They don't necessarily say it has to have rangeland, but yeah. Yeah.
So is there a process to get Mark on right now as an alternate? And so if I'm unable, he could attend?
Royce, sorry to interrupt. You can go ahead and send me and Jonathan the information, and we could reach out to him with the process of what he would need to do to come on board.
Great. Thank you. And I encourage all members to have an alternate. It's really helpful. So we can, maximize participation, and it's just more efficient.
Just as a side note too, we do have an alternate, just Jonathan, if you keep him on the email group, when you send out the meeting, reminders, agendas and stuff.
Julie? You want soup? Yeah. And just any other comments or statements about reports? I had one, but anything, Royce?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
I just wanted to mention, I came across a good resource, online mapping for where the contracts from DOC. I don't know if anybody else has seen that. We get loads of questions from our department just saying, hey, am I under contract? What's my contract number? Where can I find it? They don't have access to AirPhoto and some of these other, intra-county tools. So it is an online map. I don't know if you have seen that at all, but I was going to put it on our website.
Actually, if I may, Madam Chair, another good reminder. Our department is preparing the annual subvention report that is reported to the DOC. And the DOC takes the information, and you're right, they've created a map.
Yes.
With prime, non-prime contracts.
Interactive map.
It's an interactive, and usually they have a monthly meeting. They have an open, what did they call it? The open. I think David, you may have sent us the reminder on that monthly DOC meeting. Anyway, during one of those meetings, they presented the map. It was really cool. So yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm very familiar. They take the information from our county through the subvention program, which it's not really the subvention anymore because we don't get any money from the state. But anyway, it's the report's deadline is January 30th. And so we are actually preparing the report. It's going to be going out to the DOC very soon. So
I'll send a link out through Hearing Support for everybody.
So there's probably benefit either for planning GIS or county surveyors GIS, because as Sergio said, assessors probably have the most accurate information about the contracts. Just putting additional layer, I have like planning areas on the county surveyor's website. We have all the special districts, everything in one place. So there's more benefit once you have all these layers in place. Then you can recognize the district, you can recognize the zoning, you can recognize and see how these areas overlap. So that's a great actually idea to perhaps attempt to put it on on our websites as well as I'm sure assessors would provide the GIS layer easily for us, or could be even constructed from a tabular index of the APNs, just create a highlight.
We are, for our photo map for P&D,
you get the info from
assessor.
And so
we have layer.
Just as an added information, the way the DOC is now showing the contracts is, again, prime or non-prime. So it's either you're prime or you're not prime. In the past, the way we've mapped the contracts is we had different shades of green. For example,
Yes.
80% 80% agriculture was 80 to 100% agriculture. It was prime. It was bright green. 70 to 80%, a little less green, and then so on and so forth. Now we just have to say whether it's prime or non-prime, and the way we've resolved that problem, the DOC doesn't really give us information on how to differentiate between the two. But a lot of the counties, the way they do it is, if there's more than 50% agriculture on the property, then it's prime. And so those are the parameters that we're using. If there's more than 50% agriculture, then you're going to see it as prime, and anything less than 50% will be shown as non-prime. So that's just FYI.
So on the assessor's side of. Thank you. So on the assessor side, you're saying you're kind of doing your reporting that's due by January 30th. Are you relying upon questionnaire? I'm trying, kind of the most recent data. Are you mostly deferring to the questionnaire, or if that's absent, you kind of look at the most recent aerial photo?
Absolutely. No, we do, we update the land uses based on what they report on the questionnaires. Hence why it's very important to get these.
That's different than prime and non-prime contract in our
rules.
Right, on uniform rules. Yeah,
right. So it's
exactly.
different.
That's
it's a little bit confusing, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, it all stems back. I mean, it was funny because they still use the word subvention reporting. It's like, well, but you're not doing your part in sending us money back. We still have to do the reporting. And that's kind of the way, the 80% worked, was you get $5 for each acre of prime land and $1 subvention for non-prime. And so that's kind of that led, you were more specific. You've got 76%, based on 1,000 acres.
I think the DOC realized that they weren't getting much response anymore because this is a lot of work for nothing. We're not getting any money. So what they've decided is they're making it in their minds more a little easier for counties to report. Therefore, the 50% prime, non-prime. And I think what they've said during these meetings, and I can send you a link to those meetings, they're open for anybody, is that their response rate went way up this last year, which was the first year they implemented the new changes.
But I think there is a value of providing some mapping that assessors already labels on the PDFs, on the sheets, which APN has a contract and the contract number, bringing it into perhaps planning and surveyor's website for people who do the research would be beneficial to have that layer of information. So
right.
Show the
and Alex,
contracts.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you've probably, presuming you may have been more involved in this, but now with sort of centralizing county IT efforts, I think they're also looking at centralizing GIS information availability. So whereas certain departments may have, a specialized, map or layer, they're going to be working to try to centralize all that information. And so,
yeah, it's kind of looks like it's going to be a confederation of the departments. There won't be a centralized place and a gatekeeper. It's just going to be a set standards for, and how you create the layers of the information and where to keep it for everyone to be able to access that, public and departmental GIS. But yes, there is a big switch now as far as the software technology, and IT is trying to. They even hired a GIS person. in their department.
Okay, good discussion. Anything else? All right, so meeting's adjourned at 10:57. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Royce.
Thank you, Royce.
Hope all is well with your wife.
Yes, thank you, Jonathan. I was
Oh,
gonna
absolutely.
second that.
She's got a long haul.
Absolutely. We're all
Yeah.
pulling for her.
Thank you. So, okay, thanks. We'll see
Thank
ya.
you. Have a good weekend.